today's subject is about the price of pi. You guys have wanted me to talk about it, and I am going to talk about it. So now let's talk about price. Okay, give and take economics, right? Supply and demand. Now, so I'm going to be flat here. I'm going to be flat, right? So let's say, so the numbers will be much easier. So let's say the price of pi will be determined by the market capitalization and, of course, the number of pi in circulation, right? Okay. So the number of pi in circulation for all intents and purposes is unknown. But the first thing people need to remember is the target in future is 100 billion pi. We can't get there in my lifetime based on the metrics. So let's just not talk about 100 billion. But let's talk about hypothesis here. So hypothetically, if, say, at the time of launch, a pi in circulation is about, let's say, 1 billion. 1 billion, right? Let's say 1 billion. So the pi in circulation is 1 billion, right? And if the pi in circulation is 1 billion and the market capitalization is 1 billion, then the price of pi is $1. Do you understand? Now let's keep the constant being the circulation number, which is going to be dynamic. It's not going to be static. It will be dynamic, right? But let's keep it constant. Let's say hypothetically, it is still 1 billion, and the market capitalization. Now, how does that increase the market capitalization? That increase when demand is high, when people are buying. So when people are buying pi, it would go up. Now, if the market capitalization, say, gets to 10 billion in a few days, for instance, before open mainnet sets in, and hypothetically, the key word here is hypothetically, it is still 1 billion in circulation, and they haven't stimulated it in a positive trend, then we're going to have $10 as the price. If it is 15 billion as the market capitalization, then we're going to have, hypothetically, now the word is hypothetically, so please listen and listen carefully. Hypothetically, so let's say the constant hypothetically is 1 billion pi in circulation. I've made it 1 billion because it makes the number easy to work out. Do you understand? So you can also work it out yourself, but these are economical numbers. Do you know what I mean? Now, if it's 1 billion in circulation, which is my constant at the moment, and the variables are obviously the price, which will be determined by the market capitalization, then let's say the market capitalization is 30 billion, then the price of pi at that very moment in time will be $30 or 30 USDT, or well, if you're in Europe, then maybe not USDT, but let's say $30 per pi if it is 30 billion market capitalization. So the market capitalization is the one that's going to determine the price. Now, how does that happen? Market capitalization is determined by the number of people or the number of accounts buying or selling the pi. Do you understand? So if the buyers are more than the sellers, we know that the price is going to go up, which means demand is higher than supply. If the sellers are more than the buyers, which initially is going to be the case, then the price goes down. But the starting price is so important. That's why you have to promote it before you list it or before it gets listed on exchanges. That's why it couldn't have happened at the end of the year, because you still need time. You still need time to give it exposure. You still need time to communicate with the right people who eventually would become the stakeholders of pi. Do you know what I mean? So that is what we have to look at. And if we don't look at that, then unfortunately we can't even think of allowing the firewall to be down, which means once the firewall is down, that means the exchanges can now come in and say they can list it on such and such date. So if the day that becomes the listing day, that's the very day the firewall goes down. They go hand in hand. Do you know what I mean? So that is what is going to happen now. I need your questions in the comment section. Very, very important. Put your questions in the comment section, because this is the subject we're talking about. All right. So based on everything that I've told you, and based on the algorithms that I've worked out in recent times, the price of pi could start. The price of pi could start. You know what? Let me remove the. Sorry, let me hide the comments because it's distracting me. All right. Now let me begin to talk properly. All right. So let me bring the mic here. And let me have a conversation with you. Yeah, very important. Okay, this is just about me talking now. It's got nothing to do with anything. How's the sound? I know the sound should be very, very clear, right? The sound is very clear. Is it clear? If it's clear, put it in the comment section, please. I know it's extremely clear because I'm speaking straight into the mic. Now, so based on the algorithm that I've worked out, it's got nothing to do with circulating supply or total supply or maximum supply and all of that. Yeah, because we can argue about price and all of that, but trust me, we're talking about the start price of pi, the starting price of pi. Do you understand? When I put out a poll, which I'm going to end very soon, when I put out a poll, what did I say? I said, what price would be disappointing? That was the question. And 52% of you said, 52% of you said anything under $10 will be disappointing. And 15% of you said anything under $31.4 will be disappointing. 14% of you said anything under $100 will be disappointing. And then 314 under 314 was 19%. So it means that 19% is crucial here. So 19% of you wanted to be above $314. 19% of you wanted to be above $314. But altogether, 47% of you wanted to be above $10. Sorry, not 47. 52% of you wanted to be above $10. So all of you, those of you who voted, wanted to be above $10. Now, this is something, but let's talk about reality here. So I'm going to end this poll and then I'm going to do a 5-minute poll. Let's see what happens. What could the price of pi be? This is very important. What could the price of pi be at open network? Okay, and put a question mark there. Now this, so let's say now 1, 10, 100 and 314. Okay, now let's do this poll very quickly. This is something that I want to see what you are going to say. So we've got 1, 10, 100, 314. So let's see, because I don't understand the poll. I want to see what's actually happening here. Okay. So 28 people have voted. Okay. Okay. This is very interesting now. This is getting extremely interesting. Because I'm going to give you my algorithm and what I believe the price will start from. And then that'll be it. What I believe the price will start from. Less than, okay. Somebody here saying less than. All right, keep your comments coming as well while you're voting. Keep your comments coming. 197 likes. Oh, we're almost at 200 likes. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. This is a great show. I'm really happy that we did this show, but we'll be doing this every week, so don't worry. And it might change, but so far the price I have in mind, and I'm going to give you a fixed one. I am going to give you a fixed one based on the algorithm that I've worked out. I'm going to give you a fixed one, and I think many of you would agree with me. Many of you will agree with me when it comes to that. The fixed start price. This is very important at open network, because it mostly goes down after the start price. So the start price is so important. You know, when you go to the beginning of the graph to see when it actually started, that is something that we would all look at and say, oh, pi started as such and such. It went down because of, obviously, people are going to sell. It's a normal thing. It's a normal thing in crypto. People sell, but eventually it just stabilizes and it starts going up because you get bigger guns coming to buy it. So let me see your comments. All right. I want the poll to run a bit before I start. All right. So 1 pi equals 314. That's for Andrean. Tariq says 314. Gail says 100 or 1,000. It will not be $1,000 at the start. I can tell you that without even blinking. It will not be $1,000 at the start. Remember, I said the start. $1,000 down the line, maybe after a year or 6 months or 2 years or whatever. But no, it will not be that. But I'm going to tell you, so the price of power would not be affected by demand and supply. Please speak on this. When did he say that? He never said that. What he said was, and remember, this is something that a lot of people have misinterpreted. And Nicholas, I blame him for this because he should have clarified that particular answer. But obviously, I know the answer. When he was asked in one of the interviews he did, I think 2 years, 3 years ago or whatever, and he said pi price is going to be determined by pioneers. That was in the enclosed network. Not sorry. Pi price is what pioneers say it is. That's the enclosed network. The open network will be determined by us on the exchanges, and of course by the fact that we have our utility. Now, if we use our utility more within our ecosystem, then the demand for pi becomes extremely high, which means on the exchanges, the price goes up. So we determine the price, but we don't determine as in saying, like I told you about my cap. No, not that way. Do you understand? Not that way. But it's economics. So it will always be determined by the exchange with us. You understand? So that's something that I need people to be very clear with. But supply and demand always determines price. Just remember that. Always determines price. And that's economics. And one thing I can say, listen, everybody is strong in their field. Nicholas is strong in his field, which is blockchain and cryptocurrency and that. You may be strong in your field because you're an economist or you're an astronaut or you're a pilot or a medical doctor or a surgeon or whatever. Somebody may be strong in whatever they do, sales, retail, other things. So you're not going to sit it just because Nicholas is the one that established Pi Network. He's going to tell you what economics really is. No, that is something you should be very careful. Don't be a sheep. Always make sure you have knowledge because that gives you power, my friend. Knowledge gives you power. Christopher, don't say because Nicholas said it. He's not God. He's not an economist. He's a blockchain expert. He's a lecturer. He's done his PhD and everything in blockchain technology and that, and cryptocurrency, but not economics, please. So yes, he established it, but he's got people who are economists who know what they're also. But please, I don't buy that at all. I don't buy that. Demand and supply always determines things in economics. Demand and supply, unless you didn't do economics. If you did it, the basic part of economics is demand and supply. That subject is always spoken about because it's always referred to. Do you understand? All right, let's continue. Ray, is the partnership with Pi and Alibaba legit, or is it just hearsay? It's hearsay. It's hearsay. I doubt there's no legitimacy about that. It's hearsay. What I should have said was $100 down the road in not too distant future. No doubt that I can believe. There are about 5% wallets with more than 1,000 pi. Yeah, mine is one of them. 314. Okay. All right. So now that the dust has settled, and now that the show is about to come to an end, and now that we've hit over 200 likes, I can now tell you that my predicted price of pi at the start is going to be 120 USD. 120 USD, the start. That's what I believe personally. Somebody will say, why specifically? Yeah, why specifically? Actually, there are some odd numbers here and there, plus some decimals, but I've just approximated it. 120. Mark my words, it's going to be that. It will not be too much more than that. It will not be too much less than that. But it will be, if you want me to be specific, that's my specificity. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not changing my mind about that. Unless next week something changes when I'm doing the show. But I think for the past 2-3 years, I've been very consistent, slowly rising consistently. So yeah, I am. So those of you who chose $100, kudos to you. 42%, 15% chose $1, 21% chose $10, and 22% chose $314. Listen, I'm going to end the poll, and that's a great poll. And you guys have been wonderful, and I'm extremely, extremely happy. Race United.